We are sorry that the way that we managed aspects of our sales operations, largely between 2009 and 2011, was not good enough. We should have done better, and we're sorry to customers who may have been affected by that. And we're backing that apology up with a sales guarantee, which we launched at the end of 2011, which says that if any customer may have lost financially as a result of switching to us, we'll make that financial loss good.
Okay.
But no ifs, no buts. We're sorry for the things that didn't go correctly.
You say mainly between 2009 and 2011. Isn't it true that you were also investigated 2008-9 and also 2004?
There have been a series of examinations of selling practices in the energy industry. This investigation today, that was announced today, the outcome of it, was about new license conditions that were introduced in October 2009, setting new standards of behaviour.
But you've been mis-selling for 10 years, haven't you?
In October 2000. I don't think that it's a question of wrong behaviour for 10 years. What today was about was what went wrong in a period from the introduction of new obligations in 2009. And we recognised in the summer of 2011 that we needed to make some very significant changes in this area, becoming the first supplier in Britain to stop doorstep selling, following that up 6 months later with the first sales guarantee.
So why was it still going on until September?
With the first customer service guarantee.
Why was it still going on into 2012, according to this report?
There were one or two aspects of our sales activities that were still under scrutiny, continuing into 2012. That's absolutely correct. But the substance of the issue was in the period 2009 to 2011. But frankly, the key issue is, have we learned our lessons?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Let's just stick to the facts. Basically, what I'm saying to you is that over a period of 10 years, you have been continually investigated for mis-selling to customers. And for you to stand here and talk about learning the lessons, you clearly, time and again, have not learned the lessons.
Well, I think you'll find that today's penalty from Ofgem is the first such penalty that we've been served with. We're not contesting that penalty.
Yeah, but you've been looked into before.
We recognise that the world has moved on.
You were up to it before. You were up to mis-selling before. You were investigated for it before. You said you'd stop doing it in 2004. You didn't. You were then investigated again in 2008-9. It carried on. You've now been investigated for behaviour right up to 2012, and you're trying to minimise this and make out that it was just going on between 2009 and 2011. You've got to surely hold your hands up and say, we've been up to it, up to our necks, and we're very sorry.
I have said we're very sorry. I've got no hesitation at all in repeating that apology. I've got no hesitation either in emphasising the extent to which we've taken everything that has gone on in the past period on board to transform the way we do things, and that really is critical. But what's more critical than the words I'm saying just now?
How can you stand here and say we've been trying to change things when time and again you've been looked into, and this is not a few bad apples, this is your system?
I've set out a series of things that we have done since the summer of 2011. In the summer of 2011, we were the first company in Britain to stop doorstep selling of energy. We followed that up later that year with the first sales guarantee, money back if you lost out as a result of switching to us.
Forgive me, but I don't think today is the day to brag about the good things you've been doing. Today is all about the bad things you've been doing. Now, this report says insufficient attention was paid to compliance at board level. Has anyone on the board resigned?
We take a collective view of management at SSE. No one gets all the credit when things go right. No one gets all the blame when things go wrong.
Well, you should all go then.
The management board, what the board and the management board have recognised is the need to fundamentally change the way we operate in the sales environment, and we undertook those fundamental changes starting in 2011. And the real test is whether we can actually keep standards moving forward, becoming higher, because we recognise that energy is an extremely important utility, an extremely sensitive sector, and we're at an extremely challenging time for many households up and down the country. The standards that are expected of us by the regulator, by customers, by politicians, we recognise are increasing all the time. So the things that we've done in the last 18 months to improve and enhance the way we go about things, to transform that, isn't going to stop now because we recognise the expectations are increasing all the time,
Okay.
and so they should, because energy is an absolutely fundamental requirement for households and businesses throughout the country.
Your entire senior management team has been criticised in this finding. Are you clawing back any past bonuses?
In 2012, which was after Ofgem launched the investigation, the outcome of which was announced today, it was decided by the Remuneration Committee that senior executives should not receive the corporate element of their annual incentive scheme.
What about all the other years when you were up
set
to
out
it?
in our...
Are you clawing back any of the bonuses?
What we did was announce last year, set it out in our remuneration report, that there was no corporate element going to be paid with regard to the annual incentive scheme of senior managers in recognition of the issues raised by the Ofgem case.
For 1 year?
That is for 2012, in response to the fact that the formal investigation was, and formal statement of case was made in 2011.
What about all the years that this mis-selling was going on? They get to keep their bonuses for those years, do they?
Ofgem's investigation was about the standards that were set in October 2009. They made a formal statement of case in 2011. At the next opportunity, the Remuneration Committee of our company took the decision that senior executives should not receive any corporate element of their annual incentive scheme.
You all get to keep your bonuses from the past years when all the mis-selling was going on. Okay, so nobody's lost their jobs, nobody has resigned, and no bonuses from the years when this was going on, year after year, are being repaid. Can you just clarify that? That's right, isn't it?
What I'm saying is that action has been taken through the annual incentive scheme of the company, action that was taken a year ago before the outcome of this investigation was announced.
For 1 year, out of 10 years in which you've been mis-selling.
A year ago. I would contest your characterisation of what went on in our business. What I would say is that we have recognised the significance of the issues, we have recognised it in what we do, we have recognised it through the remuneration of senior executives, we've recognised it through the opportunities that we provide and the services and the products that we provide for customers. This business is fundamentally changing for the better, and that's essentially what makes the difference going forward.
Why did you have a system?
Yes.
Why did you have a system in which the people auditing the selling were being incentivized for there to be more selling? There was absolutely no interest in them blowing the whistle.
That system no longer exists and has not existed for some time.
No, why was it set up?
We now have an independent energy supply compliance team. We recognise that the way we organised ourselves in this area had shortcomings. We're not disputing that. That's why we are not contesting the penalty that Ofgem announced today.
Is the person who devised that system still employed by SSE?
We're not contesting that penalty because we recognise that there are significant shortcomings. We have fundamentally changed the way we do things in this area, ranging from the guarantees that we provide to customers through to the compliance arrangements that we have within the business. Again, making substantive changes a significant period of time ago that are in place now. We recognise that process of change is going to have to continue, but we recognise that if we don't learn our lessons, then absolutely we have got a very big series of questions to answer. We're a fundamentally different company in the way we operate in this area, and the changes that we're going to make in the future, I'm sure, will enhance that.
What percentage of your annual profits is £10.5 million?
In the last financial year, our energy supply business made an operating profit of £270 million.
So it's not really going to hurt you very much by the sound of it?
I think the financial penalty is significant. I think that it's been characterised as a record in the energy supply industry, so I don't think you should trivialise it. But much more important than the financial penalty is actually the scrutiny we are now under in terms of our operations and in terms of the way we go about things. That is the real test that we will have to pass in the future, and it's a test we are determined to pass.
So this is the third time you've been caught, effectively. Why should we believe you this time when you say you're not going to do it again?
I think you should believe me because it's not simply words, it's actions that we've been taking since 2011, substantive, well-documented actions across a whole range of activities which demonstrate the commitment that we made to act in the summer of 2011. So we're looking at this issue today, but for us in this company, it follows 18 months or more of concerted effort to overhaul and transform the way we go about sales in the energy sector. And that effort will continue. It doesn't stop today. That effort will continue because we recognise that after today we will be under scrutiny and that people will expect continually higher standards. The important thing is, yes, the words are here, you're hearing today are there, but it's the actions that count, and we can already point to a long list of actions, and we're committed to building ever higher standards in the future.
Do you think a price cut would be a good idea?
Well, energy is a competitive market. I'm not going to talk about prices one way or the other, but we recognise that energy is an essential household commodity. Therefore, suppliers of it carry particular responsibilities. We started a programme called Building Trust in the autumn of 2011 in recognition of that. Now, perhaps we should have recognised that earlier. We didn't, but I think we've taken a lot of industry-leading initiatives, and it's momentum that we're very, very keen to maintain in a way that's practical and has real benefits for the customers and ensures that they feel that they're being treated in a fair way and that the price that they're paying for their energy, taking everything into account, is as reasonable as it can be.